Hey everybody, Ben from the Bonehead podcast, and we've got a very cool unbox and review for you today. Greebo Games have got a Kickstarter live right now. It is their Unrenaissance team, it is their Undead slash Tomb King slash Necromantic team, and it is awesome. So we're going to open up the box, have a look at the models, and see just what you can get. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is have a look at the Kickstarter. So, here we go. So, the Unrenaissance returns. Undead for fantasy football. A brand new take on our classic team, redesigned sculpts, refined details, and full compatibility with all fantasy football systems. I am not sure there are... Is there systems? I wish there was systems. If there's a good non-Blood Bowl game, you let me know and we'll feature it on the channel. Anyway, so they are live now, and I'm recording this Thursday morning. They've got 5 days to go, and they have already, what, 4,000 times their goal, basically? Yeah, something like that. It's fantastic. They are, I mean, it's Greebo, right? This is a really interesting one. So when it comes to us to doing Greebo unboxing reviews, you already know that the quality is going to be outrageous, and they're using a kind of an improved material for this team as well, which I think it covers in the Kickstarter. Anyway, basically, there are several different layouts of these teams, and we'll go through the positionals and we'll go through the bits in a second, because you can, the way they've worded it, I think is absolutely worth checking out. Necromancer, Necromantic, Ancient, that's Tomb Kings, and Undead, which is Undead. So the team bundle there, basically you get a whole bunch of stuff, and it is for 3 of the teams. So they've done a really good job filling out each of these positionals, so you can kind of mix and match, and this is something that I think Greebo have already really done very well. So here we go, let's have a look at some of the mummy models. There are 4 different mummies, and they have got this, well, the vibe here is Renaissance. So imagine an undead Bretonian sort of team. And I mean, Mordheim is kind of big right now, Trench Crusade is kind of big right now, and this vibe massively matches that. So if you are into hoods and like plaques and chains and stuff like that, this is very timely. Like, Greebo have done a very cool job here. All right, so these are a couple of the different mummies, and then you've got a couple more, and the reason you want 4 mummies is because there is the Tomb Kings team, which need 4 mummies, which I think is very sweet. They got 2 throwers here. I guess if we've got 2 throwers, this is these are the ones for the ancient teams, for the Tomb Kings team, which is fine. I'm just thinking, like, which other teams can we use this for? Because, you know, you got to get your most out of it. Then we've got some really cool looking ghouls, and if you are familiar with like the Black Plague, they had the plague doctors had these weird little hook noses, the kind of bird faces with the goggles, and they've got that kind of design to them. They are creepy. They are the most creepy players on this pitch. Ooh, hello wind, on this team, and it is super cool. They've got 4 of them, obviously. One of them's got a Peter Pan hat, probably Robin Hood. Ben is more Blood Bowl than Peter Pan, I don't know. Neverland. So flesh golems, these are wicked because they are exaggerated and they look like mutated creatures. And the cool thing about necromantic teams and stuff like that is that they're supposed to be kind of mutant or stitched together from bits and pieces of other stuff. So the fact they've got the gorgets there with like big teeth added to them and these weird faces, I think is a really cool design. So you've got like, there's almost an otherworldly quality to all of these players. They are kind of like Malifaux. They've got that kind of weird alternative history vibe. And again, that is just such a cool design. Then you've got a couple of werewolves with big old armor, big chunky armor. They are properly normal looking werewolves, And I think that's a really good choice for this team. You've got some weird Gribblies with the flesh golems, you've got some weird Gribblies with the ghouls, they're creepy as you like, and then you've got werewolves, and you slap a werewolf on the pitch like this, and it is just a very good version of classic werewolves. And then the whites, I love these. This is such a cool idea. So the idea of whites and wraiths for the necromantic team, whites are different, but they've nailed both. So whites are like armored, they're undead blitzers, right? Wraiths are like ghosty dudes. The fact that they've got basically what looks like haunted armor, and if you look and zoom in on this bit here, he's got there's no arm inside and between the armor. They have magically designed this kind of like haunted armor where you've got the spectral ghostly smoke coming out of them as well. And that is just a really, really clever idea. And that is like, whether you are a good painter or a bad painter, I don't think you can get that wrong. Like literally, if you just spray this model silver and then use like a green or blue or pink, whatever kind of shade on just the ghost image, like you are going to be really improved. I think that's going to paint up really nicely really quickly. Then you've got the wraiths. Oh, they didn't. Oh, sweet. So they've actually gone full banshee ghosts for the wraiths. That's my bad. I would use these for wraiths. I would use these for wraiths. They're just such cool models. Do not get me wrong, everyone loves a proper creepy that is a very creepy ghost pose. That is proper exorcist. I mean, they have nailed this, haven't they? Then you've got some skeletons where you've got bits bolted onto them. They've clearly broken out of like either, they kind of look like they've broken themselves off crucifixes and chains and gates and stuff. that is grim as well. So a bunch of skeletons for this team, and then a few zombies as well with appropriate guts hanging out. This is a labor of love. Like every single one of these sculpts is such a quality thing. There's a load of detail. Some of it, I mean, I don't know if we've seen so much detail. Like this is not to the level of Chaos Space Marines, of Khorne teams, where there's just filigree and nonsense everywhere. I think they've done a really good job here of actually just focusing on the details that they want you to want to paint. So let's take this guy on the left. Like, you've got the puffy armband things that's kind of traditional for Empire, but that's like you paint that red, job done. Or you alternate the colors and it gives you that flexibility to kind of go all in. So there's going to be some really, really lovely painted versions of this. I look forward to seeing them. I have no doubt we'll probably see one of these at Beachhead next year at the very latest. And there's also going to be some very, very quick paint jobs because it looks like the details are going to take contrast and stuff really, really, really well. Now there's a few different bundles. We are a couple of days in because this arrived yesterday in the post. So we've probably missed the 48-hour thing, but if we have a look, first 48 hour, at what they are, I guess that's just everything in the campaign. All right, I guess that's just how it works. So 159 euros for 1, 2, 3 teams. So you get the 2 golems, the 2 werewolves, the 2 wraiths, and 2 whites, and 4 ghouls, 4 mummies, 2 throwers there, so that you can run them as the Tomb King thing. You get flipping everything, absolutely everything. And let's do a quick bit of counting here. 2 ghouls, 2 whites, 2 wraiths, 2 throwers. I'm seeing an undead human team here as well. You've got a mummy or a flesh golem to be your ogre. You've got the 2 whites and the 2 wraiths to be your blitzers. You've got the ghouls to be your catchers. You've got the throwers there, and you've got a whole bunch of Zombletons to be your linemen. You've got a human team there as well, which is very, very cool. And a whole bunch of extras. 85 euros for the Necro team only. And then you've got 85 for the Undead team only. Those blitzers are wicked. Yeah. They have got a bunch of very cool models here. And 85 euros for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 players for a Tomb Kings team as well, which I do think is very tempting, because that is a very, very, very cool team. All the new things, they've got an all-in price there as well. Do you know what? I'm going to link this below. You can go and have a look and see which of the pledges matches what you're after. They've been very smart with their stretch goals here. You've got a bunch of extras that we can unlock, which is very cool. Team markers and stuff like this. Now, I want to see, they've got a cool coach model. They've got, oh, Rippin' Rictus. That's fantastic. So that's the Ben, what are you talking about? Bryce the Slice Campbell. The models there. You've got Amunkar, look at that. Ramtut, the big undead star player. That is the old stabby guy, isn't it? They've got a whole bunch of Coffin Jack, look at him. Yeah, this is very impressive. I'm going to get sidetracked by the star players when actually we kind of just want to go and look at the models. All right, and that is exactly what we'll do. So let's go to the overhead camera and drop this magical box of Greebo-y goodness here. Bit shiny, I do apologize, but when we look at the models, it's not going to be a problem. So we've got 2 blisters here from Greebo. Now, I believe Alessio said not everything is going to be in there because it's a bit early for mass production. I don't think they were able to produce absolutely everything that they wanted to show off just yet. But I'm intrigued because this is being made in a very, very resilient material, which I think I might have overlooked there, but they've been working on some great stuff there. So yeah, Greebonite 2.0. So I mean, they've been doing some brilliant work with making some very resilient resin, and we've seen it before as well, haven't we? Here we go. So let me see if we can't get that a little bit more in focus with a little bit less shine to it. Ooh, okay. What is this? Okay, so we've got a mummy here, and that's one of the mummies. We've got another one of the mummies as well, which is very cool. So we'll put those 2 aside. Oh, we've got 3rd mummy as well. That's cool. So we get to see all these models. We've got a werewolf. We've got a 2nd werewolf. Fantastic. Now we've got Milton's Undead team here, so we can use that to compare scale. This is one of the creepy ghouls. This is a zombie. This is another zombie. Okay, so we've got 1 ghoul there. Let's open up the other box and see what's inside this one. This is very exciting. I do love this. We do a lot of 3D printing stuff, but there is something extra special about opening up a box of models. Okay, we've got another ghoul. We've got another ghoul. We've got another ghoul, and we've got a whole bunch of linemen there. We didn't get a blitzer, but that is okay. We can still do all of the playing with the models that we want to do. Now, I am going to start at the biggest, bestest models here, and I think I would be remiss to do anything else, I think. Here we go. Right, let's have a look. This is one of the mummy models. Now, is that as in focus as I would like? Yeah, I think this is going to be just fine. Excuse my pale hands, but look at that. So as we kind of rotate the model and have a look, you can see all the detail. Now, this is Greebonite 2.0, and the way Greebo produced these is, I think they 3D print them on site now, or they work with a very good manufacturer to do the work for them. I'm not sure which way around I thought they were doing them themselves, but I do not care, because look at the production quality of that. There is like no mold lines, no support. There's a couple of support and pock marks, but that's just fantastic. I'm losing my focus here. But right, okay, that's one of the mummies. Let's bring up another one of the mummies here. This one's a little bit shiny, but I think that's just a little bit of the cleaning process. But Alessio said these are kind of early production models so that we can get some, so that we can show them off on the channel, which is so good. So massive thank you to him for that, because I do love some Greebo minis. Got a cool bunch of details there, so you can see all the chain detail, the fleur-de-lis there. No, maybe it's not a fleur-de-lis, but it's a little flower heraldry thing. You got a couple more pockmarks. This is wicked though. Look at this. Can we get any more zoomed? I don't think we can. But this kind of, what do they call it? Like, not chalice, but like a little prayer mounted thing for pilgrims and stuff. They have them in 40k stuff all over the place, and I think that kind of grimdark vibe works really, really, really well here for this whole team. Chalice? No, I can't remember what that's called. It doesn't really matter though. All right, big old chains, big old extra stuff. We'll have a look at the third mummy that we've got to show off, because this is also a massive chonker. and you've got a ton of wicked rope detail. You can see all the kind of fabric on the face. It's really interesting. They almost look like graveyard golems here. Like if you've seen like kind of like this, like a D&D monster, this works so well. It looks like a part of the graveyard has come alive, ironically, given that these teams are all undead. Right, okay, we have looked at the mummy models. Let's do a Games Workshop scale comparison. Let's take one of the mummies from Milton's Undead team. So we will bounce this together, drop my face down into that corner so that we can show off a bit of scale. So as we look at this, these guys are much bigger than the Undead mummies, which I think you'd agree with me is very necessary. And they are heads and shoulders above them in size. And from the over top, actually this is going to fit on a 32 with no problems. If you are one of those people that puts your big guys on a 32, like, then this is going to be just fine. I don't know. I think models like this deserve. Have we got any 40mm bases lying around? No. Big old chunky 40mm bases for these. But yeah, the mummies are wicked. All right, it's werewolf time here, and I know I said that these models kind of bring out classic werewolves, and I wasn't massively wrong, but they have just executed on achieving two things brilliantly. One, this looks like a werewolf. If you put this on a table next to anybody, even non-Blood Bowl playing muggles, they're going to go, oh, it's a werewolf, that's cool. And then they have also executed this Renaissance theme so well. I've figured this out. This is the vibe here is Bretonnian, it is Empire from Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and it is Graveyard. If you put those three things together, you will get exactly what this team is trying to pull off. And the werewolf is potentially one of the best examples where they've got a brilliantly, well, do you know what, a pair of werewolves that are brilliantly identifiable, but also absolutely smothered in theme. And just, you know, I love it when I get a model like this where you can see the details are crisp, not overpowering, and you just want to paint it. I was talking to Alessio and I was like, I'm not going to have time to put any paint on these because your Kickstarter's live, and obviously postage from Italy is fast, but it is not immediate. So, I mean, hopefully you guys can see without even a prime how good these models have come out. And like, just if you're a contrast painter, or if you're a brush tithe finalist, it's going to be gorgeous. I'm feeling ghouls for the next one. So we've got a ghoul here. We've got another ghoul here. We've got another ghoul here. And we've got another ghoul here. So these are the plague doctor nosed, goggled faced, weird mouthed, just miserable creatures. Do you know, if you're an old school Mordheim player, that there's an element of Mordheim ghouls here. In fact, there's an element of Mordheim everywhere in this team. It's just a very Mordheimy time to be alive, apparently. Right, this is one of the ghouls. And did we do a size comparison for the werewolves? No, we didn't. We'll go back to that in a second when we do so. Right, ghoul number one. I mean, they've just executed this beautifully. Look at this. There is so much insane detail. Like, the quality of these models is just outrageous. Like, there's like no layer lines. There's a couple of support pock marks, but just look at the depth. Like, every one of these folds is just really perfect. The armor is so resilient. The actual like stuff is a little flexible, which is what you kind of need when you've got these models that are fine. And when I say fine, I mean kind of thin, because like this has got what, two glue points. Yeah, do you know, you're going to glue into the base like this, and he's going to be plenty resilient. We can give it a good old wiggle, even these fabric bits here, which is very impressive. So this is the Peter Pan hat. Actually, do you know what, it's kind of more of a Michael Jackson hat. But again, that definitely fits with the undead vibe, right? This guy needs to be on a team with a bunch of zombies. And here we go. The last of the ghouls. Another one with the Plague Doctor face. Very, very, very sweet. Let's take a Games Workshop Ghoul and do a size comparison. So this is another one of Milton's team. And Games Workshop Ghoul to Greebo Renaissance Ghoul. Size-wise, yeah. Do you know what? I think the Greebo Games one is a bit bigger, and I have no problem with that. It is a little bit bigger, but it's going to fit on the 32mm base. But I think they need to be a little bit bigger. They are just supposed to be like... These ghouls, although this crouching ghoul is pretty much bang on to the Games Workshop one, actually. So I don't think we've got any scale issues at all. If anything, I think just the poses, they've got a bit more presence to them. And, oh, it's going to be nice to have a team with ghouls where they're not all in exactly the same pose. And that is one of the extra benefits of having a really delicious team like this, is you are going to have individual sculpts for every one of your players, which is just so useful. So we've got a werewolf, we've got a blitzer. Let's line them up. So the werewolf is bigger than a blitzer. Not so much that he is a giant. So if we took a black orc and popped him up against the black orc, he's not as bulky as a Games Workshop black orc, but he's got the presence it needs to. He fits a size 3 player, fits strength 3. He's going to be like plenty of presence on the pitch, very identifiable there, which is so useful. All right, we've got a couple of zombies here to look at as well, and then some skeletons. Oh, these are fantastic. Right, let's have a look at zombies. All right, this is the one we looked at where his guts are falling out. That I think we sort of said this is the kind of model that's going to take contrast really well. But I can see someone like, I can see Brush Tithe just having an absolute world of fun painting these models. I mean, we've seen what he did with his Witch Hunter team, and this is, you know, a similar theme, and the execution is just phenomenal. So we've got a couple of zombies here. In fact, we've got quite a few zombies, which is this is very cool. Look at the detail on that face. You got an eyeball that's fallen out. I mean, I dare you, Games Workshop, to make an eyeball fall out without having an extra piece like the infamous witch elf thumb, right? Look at that. The posing is great on these. They all look like they are staggering around. We've got one of the skeletons here staggering around with bits tied to them, bits broken off them. That's an excellent cavity as well. Look at that. Look at that. The way the modeling has actually, they've pulled this out. So it's got, you can see, is that a support, or is that like, you can see like the bottom ribs inside the model. That is really something special. Right, some fantastic models here. I think the only thing we got left to do is a little bit of scale check, and then I'm going to slap them all on their bases, chuck them in the haunted city, and see if we can't get a couple of nice slidey glamour shots for this team. Size check. Skeleton versus skeleton. I would be remiss if I wasn't to do this. So let's have a look. Skeleton versus skeleton. This is a zombie, but yeah. So actually these are a little bit taller than the Games Workshop models, but I mean, it's marginal. This guy's obviously stepping around. Have we got one that's stepping around? Yeah, this guy's kind of staggering and is a skeleton. Yeah, he's a smidge bigger than the Games Workshop model, but it's not a different scale. It doesn't look out of sorts, and I think it needs to be this size because you've got a ton of great details and great sculpting things there that actually, I think this is absolutely bang on the money. And the kind of, the sensor check here is putting him up against a strength 4 player. You have got, yeah, there's no assumption that this is a strength 4 player. So actually, I think they've got the scaling absolutely right. All right, so that is an awesome team. I am super impressed with this. The sculpts are brilliant fun. You can see that from the renders on the Kickstarter, but I have been very blessed to be able to actually check out some of the early production models, and I'm struggling not to say that these aren't the best produced Blood Bowl miniatures, like physical miniatures, I think I might have ever seen. Like from a sculpting, the sculpting's fantastic. The theme is just dripping everywhere, which is very on point at the moment in this kind of Trench Crusade Mordheim world. But every one of these positionals is very obviously what they are meant to be. The team design is really flexible, but they have just got so much quality. The production is excellent. The way the model is presented is just, yeah, This is just such a paintable and playable team. I want to see lots of this team kicking around. Undead, very popular, very, 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 very good at the moment. Tomb Kings also, Necro also. I mean, you cannot go wrong with any of this. Anyway, the link is down below. Please go and support Greebo if you can. And if you're watching this video later, I'll put a link to their shop underneath so you can go and check it out. Big thank you to Alessio for sharing some of these pre-production models, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing them, because I have enjoyed looking at them. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Bible content. Happy blocking.